happened over in Dallas, Texas. Again, a live now look over at Wilmer-Hutchins High School, where we are seeing that perhaps we're going to be getting that briefing very, very soon here from investigators down on the ground regarding that shooting that happened at a high school. It looks like this law enforcement official is getting set up to provide some details. Let's listen in momentarily and see if we can hear any updates.
Right here, X, we focal point right here.
They don't have a podium, we just need it pretty close to the microphone.
Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. That's fine.
They're walking up now. They are walking up now. They are walking up now.
All right, so you can hear that the photographer on the ground saying they are walking up now, presumably, again, the officials that are going to provide that update. Let's continue to listen.
First, you will hear from our Assistant Chief of Police in Dallas ISD, our Assistant Police Chief here in Dallas ISD, and her name is Christina Smith. That is spelled Christina, Smith spelled the traditional way, followed by Dr. Stephanie Elizalde, Superintendent of Schools in Dallas ISD, name spelling Stephanie, Stephanie, Elizalde, Elizalde. You will hear from them first, and then we will only take 2 questions. So following that, you will hear from them, and then we'll be escorted out. But thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Earlier today, we responded to a shooting call at Wilmer-Hutchins High School. This is a tragic situation, and I know everyone wants answers, and we are going to give you what we know at this point. It remains a fluid investigation, and all of our law enforcement partners are helping us to work on this investigation. We had 4 students injured today and were transported to area hospitals. The suspect has not been arrested, but we have identified the suspect, and as I mentioned, we have many of our law enforcement partners helping us, and we are working on locating and arresting the suspect at this time. I'd like to now introduce Dallas ISD Superintendent Stephanie Elizalde.
Thank you, Chief. Today, as we all know, the unthinkable has happened, and quite frankly, this is just becoming way too familiar, and it should not be familiar. I do want everyone to know that I just got off the phone with Governor Abbott, who just called to get an update, a status report, and to offer any resources that we need to assist us. So I know that there are many questions, and we're not going to have all the answers right now because some of the information will be inaccurate. So we will do our very best because we know it is important to be always transparent. I do need to take a moment to ensure that first and foremost we know that we have been able to reunify all of our high school students with their parents and guardians. The team of Dallas ISD Police Department and our Office of Emergency Management, along with all of the agencies that assisted us in ensuring that we ensured everyone was safe. And it is important to note that within 2 minutes, of course, we already had an officer here at the high school that was able to respond immediately to the incident, followed by Wilmer Police, who were next on the scene. But I'm sure that you can tell that there were multiple agencies from the Sheriff's Department, the City Police, whether it was City Police from Dallas, City Police from Wilmer, City Police from Hutchins. Of course, DPS troopers have been here. We have the Fire and Rescue, FBI, ATF. There were a number of federal agents that were also here to provide that level of support. What I can tell you is our team worked very deliberately to ensure first and foremost that everyone was safe on campus as soon as the incident was reported, and provided of course treatment to each of the individuals we will have difficulty giving you any specifics, of course, because as you all know, there are laws that, you know, keep us from being able to disclose information for minors. I also want to reiterate that we will not be having school at Wilmer-Hutchins High School for the rest of the week. We will have mental health clinicians and others available to assist anyone who would like to meet with counselors to discuss the incident. You don't ever just get used to this, and I am very aware of that. It certainly weighs very heavy on my heart, but I can't begin to imagine. As a parent myself, I'm trying to put myself in those shoes. So again, I do want to, the reason Wilmer-Hutchins Elementary was also put on lockdown was because, of course, of its close proximity, but there was not any danger to anyone at the elementary school. We will be having elementary school tomorrow and Thursday. There is no need for anyone to be concerned about safety of their children. And we will still have additional officers because, again, I want to do everything we can to provide reassurances to our parents. You know, the last thing anyone thinks when they're bringing their children to school, whether it's a high school or whether your spouse or significant other is going to work, is to think that these things are happening. But they do happen, and they shouldn't be happening. Right now, our primary concern is to continue to provide support, ensuring our schools are safe, and we will work with all of our community to do the very best we can to ensure that everyone feels safe. It's not enough to be safe, they also have to feel safe. Again, I think I might have even left out the constable's office was another agency. I really don't want to leave anyone out because this was absolutely a team effort. And so again, we're going to be very limited, but we can take a couple of questions.
What do we know about the suspect and what led up to the shooting? What do we know?
I'll start here.
What do we know about the suspect and what led up to the shooting?
Okay. We do have the identity of the suspect, but as I mentioned earlier, this is still a very fresh and fluid investigation, so I don't have any information regarding what led up to the shooting.
Given that they were
ago, that there was obviously parents that you were very concerned about, making sure that they had confidence. We had parents that mentioned that security was an issue here and has been before, that at times even students were checking backpacks as a part of security to help out in the moments. How do you give parents confidence to send their kids back to school in this kind of moment?
So I can tell you what we know, how the gun did not get on campus, and probably better for me to let the chief let you know how I can tell you how the gun did not get on campus.
So we do know that the gun did not come through during regular intake time, so it was not a failure of our staff, of our protocols, or of the machinery that we have. So it did not come in through regular intake.
Can you expand on that?
I cannot at this time.
We do appreciate your time. Thank you so much. We were only able to take 2 questions, and we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Thank you.
How it got in the first place?
Thank you.
All right, so you just heard there live an update on that shooting that happened at Wilmer-Hutchins High School earlier on today over in Dallas, Texas. Not a lot of information was provided, but the main thing is that the suspect has not been arrested in this entire incident. They have been identified. Police are still working to locate them. An officer was at the high school within 2 minutes of that first call coming in. There will be no school for Wilmer-Hutchins High School for the remainder of this week. And of course, mental health counselors are available.